On today's episode of the Views from Section 400 podcast, the Mets lost Pete Alonso, Edwin Diaz, and Brandon Nimmo, and I forgot my headphones at work. I'm grumpy. We also talked about some football. See you guys soon.
And just like that, we're back.
A16, turn me up.
Episode of the Views from Texas 400 podcast. Today is December 11th, 2025. For the first time today, guys, I did not want to record. This was the first time in the history of our podcast I didn't want to sit behind a microphone and talk to you two because David Stearns has ruined everything about the New York Mets in the span of a week.
Well, before I let you go on your rant, this is really the first time in the 2-3 years that we've been doing this pod that you haven't wanted to show up for one of these?
So there's been times I've been not feeling it, but today I legitimately did not want to talk about what I just witnessed happen to my baseball team.
You have a lot of persistence. I appreciate that about you. I'm very surprised this is the first time. You know, let me stop interrupting. Get into it, Brian.
Well, yeah, for those that live under a rock or don't care about baseball, in the span of 2 weeks, but more importantly 2 days now, the Mets have lost Edwin Diaz, Pete Alonso, and then a couple weeks ago it was Brandon Nimmo, pretty much blowing up the core that they had built since 2019. And I'm still kind of in shock here. I've experienced the 7 stage of grief in a 5-hour vacuum since the Pete Alonso news broke earlier today. I was sitting at work and I went into a shell of myself. I'm finally kind of coming out of it. But, yeah, I was in shock. Pete Alonso leaves. I never thought that would happen, especially after last year. Then I was angry. I texted Rose and said, I'm going to be grumpy. There's no reason why I should be grumpy. It's just one of my favorite players on my favorite baseball team just left. She knows who Pete Alonso is, so she understood. And now I'm trying to come to terms with this and accept it, but I really just can't. I looked up the numbers. I looked up everything. I came prepared. And I still cannot see a world where getting rid of your two, arguably your second and third best player, makes any sense. So this core that David Stearns hates so much went 537 and 495 since Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz came to Queens in 2019. Not great, not terrible. They went to 2 playoff games. And, of course, they fell in the NLCS as close as they got to a World Series last year. The point still remains. If you ask any executive in the world of baseball, I'm giving you Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, and Edwin Diaz. Can you win me a World Series? Every single one, besides one, is going to tell you yes. And that one guy happens to be on the team that employed 2 of the 4 of those guys. It doesn't make any sense getting rid of – you can talk about a core, you can talk about clubhouse problems, whatever. You got rid of Brandon Nimmo. That one hurt me, but he was an aging outfielder. Whatever, it's fine. You got back Marcus Semien. It hurt me, but I understood it. It doesn't make any sense to give Edwin Diaz an offer the same as the Dodgers and then assume he's going to come back when LA's out there, World Series ring is out there, and be like, we're fine with that. Especially after the failure of 2025, we're going to be more proactive in certain areas. That's a direct quote from David Stearns. Their proactiveness with the Edwin Diaz situation was to go sign Devin Williams, a guy that Pete Alonso, who's on your roster, broke. And then he sucked with the Yankees. So what makes you think he's going to be better in New York with the Mets? They signed him, probably pissed off Edwin Diaz because he's like, they're going to sign another closer. Why do we need me? And Devin Williams goes out in his press conference introducing himself to the media and everyone and says, I only talk to teams about being our closer. You think that pissed Edwin off? It pissed me off for Edwin. So no shit he goes to LA to go play with the Dodgers. And then today, when Pete Alonso, the all-time franchise home run king, who that franchise record is a joke, by the way. If I were the Mets, I would just pay Pete Alonso so that franchise record doesn't look as much of a joke, so maybe your organization gets a little more respect around the league. Signs a 5-year deal with the Baltimore Orioles. David Stearns, after that, talks to the people in the media that get the sources from the Mets and says, I can't believe he got an offer over 3 years. 3 years. The same deal he offered Edwin Diaz. The same amount of time David Stearns has left on his contract as vice president of baseball operations for the New York Mets. He won't go beyond 3 years with any of these guys because he is scared to commit to anybody besides the guys he knows from Milwaukee. They're probably going to trade for Freddie Peralta, probably end up with Rowdy Tellez, who Matt dropped in our text thread earlier. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. He was a Brewer. It's so infuriating to me. The disrespect that Pete Alonso got from the New York Mets and really from everyone around baseball. It's so infuriating. And Mike Elias, the guy with the Orioles, he failed last year when he didn't spend money. And now he was all in on Kyle Schwarber, didn't get him. All in on Pete Alonso, got him. And now he's trying to get Mackenzie Gore. That's what proactive looks like. Proactive does not look like getting Devin Williams and then sitting on your ass, and you're probably going to end up with fucking – I saw Carl Edwards. They signed to a minor league deal. They want to make him a starting pitcher next year. I thought they were going to trade for Tariq Schoolball. That's not going to happen. They're probably going to go out with Ronnie Mauricio, Brett Beatty, and Mark Vientos, along with Francisco Lindor as their starting infield next year. And Jeff McNeil's still going to be on the roster because nobody wants him because they've held on to him for way too long. It doesn't – for the first time in my life, I'm legitimately thinking about not being all in on the Mets and not caring that much this season because this is what David Stearns has done to this team. And maybe it'll all change. Maybe they'll sign Kyle Tucker. Maybe there's a master plan and it'll get better. But right now, it feels like a punch to the gut from the team I've supported since I was 4 years old.
Yeah, a lot to dive into there. First takeaway immediately was, taking it out on the wife. Classic New York sports fan move. Don't beat up on Rose. She doesn't deserve it. You're better than that. You're better than that, Brian.
The heads up was a good move.
Yeah, just the classic New York fan move. Can't wait to get the Philly comments after that one. But I think Josh Bell's still out there too. So I'm sure Stearns has made a phone call or two on his availability. Wouldn't be surprised if he's the starting first baseman of the New York Mets next season. And you hit the nail on the head. The Orioles GM has been more than proactive. You said his name, I forget it, but he was all in on Kyle Schwarber. Philly's matched, good situation for Schwarbs there in Philly. So he stays. And if I'm Stearns, the next big bat after Kyle Schwarber was Pete Alonso. I know Kyle Tucker's there, but comparable contracts, it's going to be closer to a Schwarber for Pete Alonso than, Tucker wants 9 years or whatever insane amount of years he wants. It's not going to be comparable. So that should, look, these are executives. You think they would fires would be lit under their butts. Apparently us up in the nosebleeds can see these things coming from a mile away and be like, how do you not see this when you have all these people around you? But look, you got the 1-for-1 comp, Devin Williams over Edwin Diaz. So you made up there. Jeff McNeil still there. And Marcus Semien comes in. There's a lot of holes on the team. Starting pitching, they have no choice but to bring up the kids and let them play the full year. You got Juan Soto, and I think in order to save his job, you have the richest owner in baseball. You have to go give a blank check to Kyle Tucker at this point.
It's so infuriating that David Stearns went into this offseason saying we have so many holes to plug and fix around the roster. And they've created more through 3 weeks of the GM meetings and now the winter meetings than they have. They haven't filled one. They replaced, like you said, Edwin Diaz with Devin Williams. They got rid of Pete Alonso. They got rid of Brandon Nimmo. Sure, they brought in Marcus Semien. You had Jeff McNeil there. He's still on the roster. They haven't done anything. So does Steve Cohen, like you said, give a blank check to Kyle Tucker? Sure, that replaces Brandon Nimmo, but then you're still without a first baseman.
Kyle Tucker's best position is, I think, right field, which Soto already occupies. Maybe you throw Soto as a DH. A lot of money for a DH, but
one of them can play left. It's not that much of a transition there.
It's not ideal. It's not ideal.
It's not ideal, and none of this is ideal. Even if you sign Kyle Tucker now, you lost Pete Alonso. So what production can Tucker give you that Pete couldn't? Sure, he can play the field where Pete Alonso's stuck at first base, can't really do anything there. But Pete Alonso...
But the bat would, you're getting a much friendlier contract at the 5-year 155 than unloading And again, it's baseball. What do these contracts even mean anymore? But I don't know. It feels like if all else fails, at least sign back the guy who was a fan favorite and people can rally around. Stern's just there's like a disconnect with the fan base. I mean, he's not even there. Like we talk about direction for these NFL teams. What's the direction of the New York Mets
right now?
And that's where I was going to go. Last year, they're the talk of the town because they signed the biggest free agent of the year in Juan Soto. And then here we come to this year, and I'm not locked in on the Mets, but it sounds like this offseason, all they're doing is unloading their core, which I just don't understand. If you're going to go and make the move to get Soto and bolster up your team, go run for the World Series, this is like the Steelers trading away George Pickens at the start of the year. It's like you bring in Rodgers, you bring in this guy, that guy, the third, you're trying to make a Super Bowl run, and then you go and give away one of your best players. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and I do want to be kind of like level-headed here, where I've been a critic of the core and the direction of this team in terms of like they haven't gotten over the hump, and that's fine. Like you can get rid of this core of players and blow it up in a sense. But to do that by getting rid of the best player that's been a part of that core since 2019, and then the best reliever you've had, it doesn't make much sense. Get rid of the Nimos of the world. That's fine. Get rid of Jeff McNeil. Trade Mark Vientos, Ronnie Mauricio, and a bunch of the young guys and try to get a pitcher. That's fine. You don't get rid of the best player that has the biggest home run the Mets have hit in the last 24 years, probably since Piazza's 9/11 home run. But you don't get rid of that guy. That's the guy you keep. And you give him a blank check, and you keep him, and he's a Met for life, and his number's in the rafters, and he has the whole David Wright ceremony in 20 years, and I'm crying with my kid. That might not happen now. That's not what you do.
Now.
Probably won't.
It's not going to happen now.
And honestly, it could have if they did re-sign him. But a point you made earlier is this isn't the first time. This isn't the first time that Pete Alonso has, I would, speaking for him, felt disrespected by the Mets. So I don't know if you were going to get that anyway, Brian.
No, it's just they did it to him last year, and then he responded by having one of the best seasons of his career. And then they basically said, go talk to teams in the winter meetings, let us know. And he didn't let them know. He pulled the Saquon Barkley. He's like, well, fuck you guys. I'm just going to go sign with someone else.
Yeah.
Sports.
It's exactly what happened. And I really thought Pete Alonso was going to be a Met for life. He's that kind of just guy who felt right on the Mets. He goes to another funky orange colored team in the Baltimore Orioles. So it fits for who he is. But look, you get big market Pete. Now you get small market Pete. We'll see if, he flies under the radar and just absolutely comes out and crushes baseball this next year. It's interesting though. I mean, I know they offered him the most money, but Baltimore extended their left field wall like another 10 or 20 feet back or whatever they did. So could see a decline in Alonso home run numbers next year.
He hits a lot of doubles anyway.
Sure, but the home runs are the home runs, Brian. That's where half that
not exactly a home run friendly park.
No, but I mean, moving it back's moving it back, man.
Yeah, maybe a little. He's going to be fine. He's going to continue to hit 35 to 45 home runs. He's going to hit 260, and he's going to drive
50 doubles. 50 doubles.
50 doubles. He's going to be a great player that gets disrespected around baseball because he's borderline fat and he doesn't play great defense. He plays first base. What do you expect him to do?
And I swear he made some plays you didn't expect him to make when he's playing the Phillies at first base, where it seems like the ball gets through and he makes the play. So I know they rag on the defense, and I'm sure if you dive into it, sure the defensive numbers aren't great, but I don't think it was as bad as it could have been for a defensive first baseman.
No, advanced analytics don't track scoops. That's the issue. That's what is best at on defense, and they don't track it.
You're telling me MLB doesn't track scoops?
They can track it as like a stat, but they don't put it in the defensive run saves because it's so, I guess, volatile. I don't know. Baseball's gotten way too nerdy.
Agreed.
But I'm not happy right now. So if I'm grumpy throughout this podcast, that's
Sums it up right there perfectly.
Fair enough.
Did he freeze for you?
Yeah, he did.
when did I freeze?
Right when you're like, if I'm grumpy for this podcast, that's why, and then it immediately froze. But it's all good. We get why you're pissed,
Okay, well,
dude.
that's fun then.
We get why you're
Froze
pissed.
again?
Yeah, froze again. What the fuck is going on? Is he
Come on,
frozen
Brian.
for you, or am I like it?
It's still frozen for Brian.
I can see you completely fine.
Yeah, I can see you fine too. Brian's the one.
Everybody just got home from work. That Wi-Fi's working right now. Kids home from school. The husband and wives home from work. Everybody's jumping on the fucking router.
Yeah, you might need your Wi-Fi password. I bet your neighbor got your Wi-Fi and they're streaming some crazy stuff on it.
Stranger Things. Still frozen. He texted and said, "Now I'm frozen." It's like one step ahead of you, Brian.
Nice.
We are well aware. All right, show's over. Don't have to talk Eagles. Catch you guys next week. Sounds good.
And there's Brian. All right, let me pause this till he gets back in.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston and Julian Edelman doing a Duval.
Well,
all right.
I'm grumpy. Matt, your team's looking pretty awful right now, too.
Yeah, look, I mean, what if they lost the Super Bowl last year and then we were getting this again, the actual spitting image of 2023, which it kind of is. It'd be disastrous. Worry level, yeah, it's panic mode time. I mean, we've already seen this before, right? We've seen the disaster. Look, and takes a lot to put the pride and ego aside. You have to look at the quarterback position. I mean, 5 turnovers is inexcusable in a football game. 2 to 3 is borderline inexcusable. 5 cannot happen. The offensive line was fine. The routes were fine. And sure, A.J. Brown, after bitching and complaining all year, could have made a couple plays there to help out his quarterback. But, we're using Kevin Patullo as the fall guy, and are there times where he has been an issue? Sure, but like the Jalen Hurts right now, December 10th, December 11th, 2025 is a bad quarterback in the National Football League, and he needs to figure it out. He was a Super Bowl MVP last year. He was a top 4 quarterback in the National Football League last year. Hell, to start this year, the first 3-4 weeks was in that top upper echelon of the National Football League. But as we sit here, wrapping up 2025, December 10th, he's a bad quarterback. And people aren't talking about that. I wasn't ready to have that conversation. But after seeing what I'm seeing, what I watched Monday night, football team that hasn't lost in the Golden State, California since 2014. It's over 10 years, guys. 2014. It was embarrassing. It is embarrassing, and a lot more light needs to be shed on the quarterback. Somebody said it great. They called him Martin Luther Hurts. He comes out and has all these crazy quotes to whatever they want to say, and it's like, in the beginning, when he gets slapped in the face and he comes back and he balls out, okay, the quotes are cool. Just looks like a cornball at this point, man. I mean, it's a different quote after different game, and you're not getting the job done. I know it's the Raiders on Sunday. I'm terrified.
It hurts the first player ever to turn the ball over twice in one play.
It's unbelievable. I mean, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it was a pretty unbelievable game for him all season long. I mean, even after winning the Super Bowl and winning Super Bowl MVP, there are still the Jalen Hurts haters out there that are like, You guys really think this guy's a top quarterback in the league? Like this,
They
that, the
are
third.
in paradise right
They're
now.
in paradise right now. They were hate watching so hard on Monday night, and
I
their
know.
dreams came true.
True.
Look, all the people that were giving me crap for putting Jalen Hurts in my 5 spot after winning Super Bowl MVP last year, they came out. I got some messages. They're like, "Oh, this is your top 5 quarterback, the guy with 5 turnovers in one game." Look, I'm not sure how I feel about this, if I'm ready to completely switch my tune yet or not. This is one bad game, and not to say he's been having a great season. He hasn't. But he's been able to do exactly what the Eagles have needed him to do for the past, I don't know, about a year now, right? Don't turn the ball over, be a game manager, win games. Like, he did it to perfection last year, and that's why one of the reasons why they won a Super Bowl. And now you come to this year, the running game isn't as good. Saquon doesn't have the same pop he did last year. The offensive line has been a mixed match in and out. No Lane Johnson, can't help. So I understand there's a lot more on Jalen Hurts' shoulders now. Hey, we need you to go step up and win this game. And if this is what we're going to see in times where he needs to go step up and win them the game, then yeah, I'm ready to give up on Hurts. But I don't think that's the case. I think this is one game. I think people got to relax. Whether it's Patullo or not, I don't know. But the offense hasn't looked right all year. All year. So I don't know why we're just going to throw it on Jalen Hurts after, it's clear he had a bad game. It's easy to throw this one on him.
He had a bad game.
All year the offense has looked bad.
Right. Which is why Patullo's still a guy you look at. And beginning of the year, I think the offense was fine. I mean, it was fine. It was fine. It was fine.
It was fine.
It was inconsistent.
It wasn't a team that just won a Super Bowl.
It wasn't a team that just won a Super Bowl, and it was inconsistent. And we're blinded a little bit by the Chiefs just always looking unbelievable after winning Super Bowls and the offense not falling off. But it's the exact Eagle team we saw 2 years ago after losing the Super Bowl. They started out 10-1 and fell off a cliff. And it's the same shitstorm that it's game after game. And that starts to build. That builds, right? The noise doesn't go away. The media doesn't go away. Everybody knows the elephant in the room. And the elephant only gets fatter when you go out and do a stink up of a performance that you do on Monday night. Defense, unbelievable. They killed Herbert all night. That guy did not come out of that game feeling good. Props to the defense. Without Jalen Carter, by the way, too. Props to that defense. But the quarterback is the toughest position of any major sport. And to go out and have this continue to pile on, you can say whatever motivational speech you want to say. You can say you had a great week of practice. You can put a freaking positive bunny in the locker room for whatever you want to do. But it doesn't go away. The noise gets louder. And we're seeing the same thing we saw. The noise just kept getting louder. And that's why by the time they got to that playoff game in Tampa, they were already giving up 2 weeks prior. And it feels the same way. I've watched this team. I know what's going on. The team's given up. It feels like they've given up. You guys will tell me to stop and relax. My Super Bowl expectation, playoff expectation, I'm just, not to say I'm so out, but I am expecting disappointment at this team, and they can say Philly fans are spoiled. But if you watch the last whatever we've watched out of the Philadelphia Eagles, it's not a Super Bowl team. There's better teams in the NFC right now, and there's better teams in the AFC. So to say it's spoiled, whatever, they're not right now. December 12th, I'll keep going back, or December 10th, keep going back to the date. They are not a Super Bowl capable team. And it's just what it is. Until they switch something around, I don't know what offensive coordinator you find. Do you bring in Tanner McKee, which Sirianni said is ridiculous? That the bench people are talking about it. People are talking about it. But I agree, ridiculous. But I don't know how you fix it. It's one of those things where, like, shit, man, just get through the season. Whatever happens, happens, and you go and regroup next year, which sucks to say, but I don't know. I don't know where you go from here.
The team is way too talented returning way too many people from that Super Bowl run last year to say pack it up and try again next year.
It feels
Go
like they
break
can't
it.
do anything.
I hear you, but you got to break it down to the studs. Like, you got to break down the studs. You got to say, this is the offense we're running. Saquon Barkley, what do you need to be good? Like, you're not even good right now. Like, I know all the focus is on Jalen Hurts, but guys, Saquon Barkley ran for 2,000 yards last year, and he runs for like, I don't have the stat in front of me, but it seems like 2 yards a carry this year.
Yeah, he's getting stuffed at the line. And real quick, Brian, before you go, they could talk about like, oh, offensive line injured, this, that, the third, yada, yada, yada. Landon Dickerson has been there. Cam Jurgens is still playing center. Lane Johnson has been here. I know he's been hurt, but like, as far as I'm concerned, Jurgens and Dickerson are elite offensive linemen. It's not like everybody got wiped, and you look at the Chiefs, Mailata too. I can't even forgot about him. So there's elite talent still in the offensive line. Those guys alone make you an elite offensive line. It's not like the Chiefs who are throwing practice guys. They had a rookie make his NFL debut on Sunday night on the offensive line. So that's for me why it's like, okay, it's not injury ridden, which there are some injuries on the offensive line. Everybody is still there and they can't figure it out. That's my issue. And that's why it feels like they can't get out of their own way this year.
And this last month of football is why Jalen Hurts haters exist and why people will never give him the respect that he probably deserves, is because pretty much the whole time the Eagles have been good while he's been there. They've gone Super Bowl appearance, collapse. Super Bowl win, collapse. We don't know who he is. It's every other year. It's either some terrible end to the season, which we can blame on the coordinators, but how many more it's the whole thing with Trevor Lawrence. How many more coaches do you need to go through before the guy you look at is the problem?
Player. Yeah.
But the difference there is Hurts has been successful, and he's been to 2 Super Bowls, and he's won one. So who is Jalen Hurts? And we'll never know because of his corny press conferences. He's two-faced up there. We don't know who he is. Is he good at football? Is he bad at football? He's an enigma.
And again,
we have a big enough sample size.
But yeah, that sample size has been collapses and success.
I think he's a product of his environment. When the offense is good, when Saquon Barkley's running well, when that O-line is healthy, when A.J. Brown's not making a big deal, Devonta Smith's doing his thing, like, it's easy sledding for Hurts. I think we've seen that. Like, when they have a competent play caller who can, design a nice play here and there, the 2 Super Bowl appearances. When you have coordinators who can't do that, when you got a running back who isn't doing well and pieces missing in the offense, like, a bad ecosystem for him produces bad results. I think that's what we're seeing.
So that's a really long and really nice way to call him a system quarterback.
Very nice way of calling him a system quarterback.
But the system quarterbacks don't make the plays that he was making last year, I don't think. I mean, some of the throws he was making were unbelievable. The athletic extend the play. Like, the system quarterbacks don't make those plays, which is why it's frustrating as a fan, because it's in there. Because you've seen it. You've watched it. He's done it. So when it's in there and it's not translating onto the field, it's like, it's deceiving. It's like, is who was out there just wearing a Hurts jersey? Like, what's going on? Where's the quarterback that we just paid all this money to, rightfully so, because he's been a guy who can be more than a system quarterback and win a game on his own and make the big throw late. 4th and 5, and they're throwing deep balls to A.J. Brown for touchdowns. That was all last year. A little bit of this year. They did it in the Vikings game. So it's just like, dude, it's deja vu all over again. I already watched it once. We didn't see any change. That's why it feels more like they're gonna say what they're gonna say in the media, but you're not tricking these eyes, man. I've seen it once. Fool me once, shame on you. You ain't getting me twice.
Yeah.
So you're officially out on the Philadelphia Eagles.
I don't have Super Bowl expectations like I once did. If I win, I would be shocked. Is that fair to say? I'm still rooting for them. I'm still hoping for them. But if they win the Super Bowl, I would be shocked. 8-2, 21 zip. I was like, okay, like we I'm expecting NFC Championship and a dogfight for a shot. Now I'm like, I would borderline be shocked at an NFC Championship appearance.
We're gonna do the dead index in a little bit. I wish I would have added the Eagles to that.
Well,
dead
they're not
index.
dead, Brian. They're 8-5 and still in first place, so they're not
Cowboys
dead.
are coming.
They lost last week too, so
They did.
Yeah.
that it would have been like, look, again, the pity party, like Raiders at home, like it's a must win. You get the Commanders twice. Like, I think if you win 2 of those games, you win the division.
Yeah.
And you have the Raiders and Commanders twice. I know the Bills are there at Buffalo. You can still lose that game and easily control your own destiny to win this division.
Definitely.
They'll win.
Like that is true.
I'm more just poking the bear.
You are definitely.
I agree. I mean, no repeat winner in the NFC East since 2004, and we're having another all-time collapse.
Yeah,
That's why I'm terrified for the Raiders on Sunday.
I'm interested to see where you put them in your confidence picks when we do that later. But we will turn to the one team, the one guy on this podcast. What'd you say?
I said I think I still had him up there pretty high, but
the one guy on this podcast that is having a good time, that's Jack. The Jaguars beat the Colts so bad that their ship is officially sinking enough. They did what every sinking ship turns to, and they went to a washed, dried up river.
Yeah, a Phillip Rivers. When I first heard that he was apparently or allegedly, I was still in the alleged phase. When he was allegedly making his comeback, I looked at my buddy. I was like, that's not a real headline. Like, that's not going to happen. Like the Colts, especially, like, didn't they do this tango 5 years ago with him and it failed horribly? So we're going to try
5 years ago.
So we're going to try it again with him being 44 years old now.
His oldest son is as old as Riley Leonard.
That is a crazy stat to throw in there. Holy crap. Because, see, we didn't even see that with Brady. Like, when Brady's up there at 40-something years old winning that Super Bowl with the Bucks, like his son's like, 10, 12? Not 24 like Riley Leonard. That is insane. But yeah, we beat them so bad that they're going back to the drawing board with Phillip Rivers. Daniel Jones is hurt. Anthony Richardson's hurt. Just a nightmare over there.
So when it came out real quick, and I know we don't talk crazy bets for the NFL, but Colts at Seattle, no team should ever be plus 900 on the money line. I don't care if it's Phillip Rivers. I don't care if it's the Seattle Seahawks, on this unbelievable run. Plus 900 is ridiculous. Phillip Rivers has been in an offense before. I don't know what kind of game plan they have, but furthermore, I will take the plus 900 because Sam Darnold can lose you a football game. And if you're going to give me plus 900 on the money line, and Sam Darnold's on the opposite side, I don't care. There's too much value there. I don't care.
I don't hate that. I won't lie. I don't hate that.
That's way
Phillip
too
Rivers,
much for an
Must-win
NFL
game for the Colts.
That's
must-win game for the Colts.
Too much value for an NFL game, guys. Come on. We know the NFL probably the best out of all the sports. Guys, plus 900.
Matt,
Seattle's worst at home.
Matt, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
900.
Playing quarterback for the Colts, they have two
care.
options. It's Phillip Rivers at 44, who could very well pull a Rodgers and pop an Achilles in the first snap, or break a leg or something like that, where he's got to come out. I don't know who they have after that. Riley Leonard is hurt.
Tyler
Warren, their rookie tight end, is their emergency quarterback. You're right, Brian. Yeah, if he has to start a quarterback, I'm taking any other team. Like plus 900 is a waste to me. I do understand what you're saying, though.
Let me ask you this. I appreciate that you understand. Why can't Phillip Rivers hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor 40 times?
He absolutely can.
Why can't he do that? Why can't they play a possession game?
He absolutely
Why
can.
can't you force Sam Darnold to have to make throws in a fourth quarter against a Colts defense that isn't that bad? Plus 900?
Seattle's better than Jacksonville?
Seattle's better than Jacksonville. I'll give them that.
They
I-
kind of just tried to do
Barely.
that for a half against Jacksonville.
I was
and
gonna say
it
barely though.
It was there
We
wasn't
coulda
all
beat
that.
them.
There wasn't all of this. There was no mention. Phillip Rivers was having cocktails with his wife last week.
You
There
think
was
Phillip
no
Rivers is that much
mention.
better than Riley
Yeah,
Leonard?
but Daniel Jones and Riley Leonard played last week.
I think the aura of Phillip Rivers.
I'm sorry. Did you just put Phillip Rivers and aura in the same sentence?
You did hear that right. There was no stutter. Dude,
There's something blocking my headphones.
look, dude, too much value on the table. Even if Rivers just has to hand off. And then you're telling me Philly Riv can't make a nice little play action pass to Tyler Ward, Michael Pittman. There's weapons. There's a decent O-line.
Yeah,
But the Colts were never winning last week. They needed they needed a veteran to come into the locker room. And that's what they did.
it was always Trevor Lawrence. Daniel Jones never had a shot. I will, Matt. I will say to your point, like I'm gonna fade them. There isn't an NFL player other than Phillip Rivers. Like he's probably in my top 3 most hated NFL players of all time. I don't got any love for him. So let the fans know
this week.
Let the fans know my opinions here on this matter might be a little skewed, considering I think he's a bum.
We just need one game, Jack.
A bum? You put him down?
He's a bum.
He played AFC Championship game with like 2 torn ACLs. It's a dog right there.
5-7 playoff record. I don't want to hear it.
I mean, is this all just a ploy so he gets to wait 5 more years when the Hall of Fame classes are a little bit less stacked? Get a golden jacket?
No, because he didn't call the Colts. The Colts called him.
Yeah, it's true.
Is that how it went down? I thought that he did call the Colts and let them know, hey, I'm available if you need me.
I mean, I feel like he always just drops off a business card at these front offices because the Niners almost called him against the Eagles after they lost their quarterback. If they would have won that game, they would have called Phillip Rivers.
I guess he's that guy.
Look,
if he was good enough, he'd still be doing it like Joe Flacco.
how old is he? 44?
Rivers, 44.
They said 44. I love it. Bring it back. Plus 900.
Flacco's not 44, is he?
No, Flacco's like 41.
1.
Or 40.
40. Yeah, okay. 40 and 44 are
It's
That's
a
a big
difference. It's a difference. Look, get him out there, see what he can do. Hand the ball off to JT 40 times. Expose him once on a play action. Sam Darnold can certainly lose you a game. If you're going to give me plus 900 and tell me that Sam Darnold has to be the guy to ruin that for you, I'm going to take my chances 10 out of 10 times. And I might get burnt all 10 times, but I'm going to take the chance.
I can respect it, but we've talked way too much Colts. How about them Jags? Another win. Playing the Jets this week at home. It's the
cruise control for these guys.
It is the perfect trap game that I just, for the first time ever, have like zero concern about. I really just don't have a concern about this game, which is really nice and exciting, and it's kind of weird. I saw on my phone that we're, I believe, 12.5-point favorites.
Yeah, I don't know the injury report for the Jets, but it might be Brady Cook starting for them.
As their quarterback?
He got the snaps after Tyrod went out in the last game. It wasn't Justin Fields.
That's wild. Yeah, the Jaguars are 12.5-point favorites. 9.5-point favorites over the Jets. I don't think I've ever seen the Jags favored by that much before in all my years of Jaguars football. This is very exciting.
I know I'm going to put another 2 words in the same sentence that shouldn't be, but I think the Jets are smart enough to know they should not win this game, and they really just need to keep their draft position.
Well, funny enough, let's go back 3 or 4 years. 3 or 4, actually. This is 6 years now. The Jets won a game on like a walk-off touchdown. They threw a Hail Mary. They got it.
55-yard touchdown.
Yeah, threw a Hail Mary, got it, won. It was like a week 16 or 17 game. And they had Trevor Lawrence like wrapped up. He was going to New York, going to be a Jet, number 1 overall pick. They did us a solid, won that game. Actually, the more I think about it, I think they played the Raiders. I think the Raiders sent a 0 blitz on the last play of the game, leaving that wide receiver for the Jets in one-on-one coverage, comes down with it, and next thing you know, Trevor Lawrence is a Jaguar, and here we are five years later. So, Matt, to answer your question, I don't know if the Jets are smart enough to know that they should lose this game, but they will either way.
Fair. I think you got nothing to worry about.
Jack, this has nothing to do with me hating the Jaguars, but I would love nothing more than the Jets to win and the Giants to somehow lose to the Commanders. They're favored. First time they've been favored since that Germany game against Carolina that I famously said there's no chance they lose, and they lost.
Wow. Do the Giants get the number 1 pick if they lose and the Jets win?
I believe right now the Giants have the number 1 pick.
Oh, wow.
Which would be
Traded.
GM Brian.
Probably trade it to the Jets. Let them draft Fernando Mendoza, get an extra pick.
Okay, so you don't trade it. Who do you take?
I want Caleb Downs. But the issue is he plays safety. They really need a cornerback.
Yeah, you can't really take that with the top 5 pick.
I think the best case scenario is you trade down and you get a receiver.
What do you trade down to? Like, I don't want to say 6, 7, but like 7, 8. I don't know. Or trade like into the mid-teens, really scoop up something.
It'll definitely be about who wants to jump up. Less about
the Jets and the Raiders and the best offer.
Problem is they might be at like 2 and 3 anyway.
No, okay. So you give the Steelers a call, say, hey, we got the number 1 pick, number 1 quarterback. You guys keep having these 500 seasons, so you're not going to sniff the top 5 to draft one of these guys. Here's your shot.
Yeah, they would definitely have to sell the farm, but that's a good.
But that's a team who's going to swoop in and make sense for the Giants to draft in the mid. I mean, you're right. I don't think there's anybody in the top 10 that's going to be like add them to the Giants. I mean, they have their quarterback. There's nobody in the top 10 that's going to be like, holy shit, this takes the Giants to the absolute next level.
I'm curious to get y'all's opinions on this, but if I'm the Steelers organization, that's probably a move I'm considering. As a fan of the NFL, like not the Steelers, taking a step back and looking at their team, if they were to do something like that, sell the farm for the number 1 pick, draft that quarterback, instill him in this current team, does that make a difference for you?
Here you go. This is what they do. The Steelers call the Giants up. They say, give us the number 1 pick. We'll give you a pick back, and we'll send Mike Tomlin.
They would take that in a heartbeat.
Iron out the details however you want to make it even. However you want to make it even on both sides with the picks.
Tomlin for a first-round pick.
I don't think Tomlin would want to move to New York.
You get a nice spot in Bed-Stuy.
I don't think he's got a choice if he's under contract.
Yeah, I'd take 5. I guess he has like 6 years left, 6 500 seasons in a row.
I don't know. I mean, Steeler fans, I don't think they're trying to kick. I don't think they're trying to kick Tomlin out. I think it's like, hey man, like we kind of know our destiny every year. We're about 500. We're a wild card exit. I mean, the guy hasn't won in the playoffs in 10 years. Tomlin. Well, I know we jack him up, but he haven't won in 10 years in the playoffs. That is, or 2016, so 9 years. But
Won't change till they get rid of Arthur Smith. He's terrible.
Right.
He's still terrible. He's so bad.
The offense hasn't been horrendous though. Hasn't been great, but they were right there. I mean, they just put up 27.
Yeah, no, they've had their moments this year. That's for sure.
I
Rodgers
wouldn't
has
say
had his
Arthur
moments.
Smith is the pressing issue for the Steeler team. It's been the defense.
Yeah. I feel like they've had different units be the issue different weeks, right? Some weeks it is the defense, specifically the pass rush or the secondary, Jalen Ramsey getting burned, or sometimes it's the offense and they can't, Rodgers can't get anything going. DK Metcalf finally had himself a game this past week, but waiting for that all damn season. He's literally averaging 5 yards a game on the season, and then he finally comes out with 100 yards this past week. So different times I'm seeing different faults in the Steelers. I don't know if I'm ready to pin it on any one person in particular, except for Arthur Smith.
Yeah, you just hate that guy. But I don't think it's been solely on that guy.
No, it hasn't. I'm being petty.
Aaron Rodgers looked pretty good last week. Ran a touchdown for the first time in 3 years.
He had to have been just hopped up on some sort of
Yeah,
medication.
but how do you keep
The Ravens defense, that was the medication.
This is all you got. This is all you got with Rodgers. It's this year and then you're done.
Yeah. I don't know
Yeah,
why they just didn't draft Shador.
Because
I got Will Howard. That's your guy.
Yeah,
Come on, Brian. We were jacked up about Will Howard.
Brian, you expected he was going to win Rookie of the Year.
I was right there with him. I was pumped to see Will Howard get out there.
I forgot they had him. Let's get Will Howard in.
He got hurt. He got hurt first week of training camp. We were like, oh, there goes that.
Let's get him in there next year. All right.
Hell
Yeah, no,
yeah,
they don't
let's
need a
get him in
quarterback.
there.
They got Will Howard.
Will Howard, dude, marinated all year. We know what those look like when they come out after a year.
Oh, baby. Actually, I really didn't even consider that. I'm not ready for the Patriots and Steelers and Broncos and everyone to be good again. I'm not.
All right, Broncos, I wouldn't group them in that.
I mean, the Peyton years at least.
Yeah, Steelers and Patriots, yes.
They
I don't
won a
need
playoff game with Tebow.
barely.
We're not doing Tebow.
By the grace
We're
of
not
God.
doing Tebow talk.
By the grace of God.
Literally the grace of God.
It's literally what happened.
Let's do some dead index real quick before we talk some college football. All right, real quick here. I have 4 teams. How dead are they? The Chiefs.
Dead. Well, what's
Dead.
how dead are they?
They need so much help from other teams that I'm going to call them dead.
Dead, alive, still planning the funeral?
Yeah,
Is that our 3?
those are the 3.
They're definitely planning the funeral.
Planning the funeral.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they're dead. I don't think they're making it this year.
It's not the division to have.
I don't
to
either.
put in.
Especially with the Colts falling out. The Colts have the tiebreaker over them. All right, the Cowboys.
I'll say they have the deposit down on the funeral.
Yeah, they're funerals planned for them. They're trying to actually cancel that reservation, and they're not sure if they're getting their money back yet or not yet.
Jerry Jones and Dak are both in coffins, about to be buried. They're dead. The Ravens.
With how bad the AFC North has been this year,
Yeah, they're alive
still alive.
Somehow.
Very much alive.
I agree.
Somehow.
But there's nothing more I want to see than the Steelers and Arthur Smith get that AFC North division win.
Just so
All right,
they
and
can
a weird-
lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah. Might be to your Jags. Last one, Matt, I know you'll like this one. The Bucks.
Dead.
Panthers are right there.
Dead. This is the Panthers division.
Um,
Come on, dude. I got laughed off the show.
Dead?
And you're telling me in mid-December we got a shot at the division?
You're telling me that the division leading Bucks are dead?
No, it's a joke, but I am very, very, very. I mean, dude, like until the Panthers knock the Eagles out of the playoffs, I am going to be fired up for this Carolina team.
I can respect that. The Bucks are
that
alive.
could be first round, like Eagles, Panthers. I guess if they both win the division, no, but I don't know.
The way it's trending, that could be in Carolina.
Might have to fly down for that. Go visit our boy Fest. There's a path.
I mean, they played 2 games against the Bucks. There's a huge path. They got to win 2 games.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the Bucks are dead. This is the Panthers division.
Wow.
I just love it.
Baker Mayfield
playing injured.
Baker Mayfield doesn't like that one.
Mike Evans back from IR this week.
Yeah, needs I think 176 yards in a game for the Final Four to get to 1,000.
Oh, did you bet his 1,000 yards prop?
No, but he would break Jerry Rice's all-time record. They're tied right now.
Yeah, the injury, I think, put the nail in the coffin for that.
What is it, 11 straight seasons he's going for?
I think his whole career, no?
I believe it's 11. I don't know if
Or did he not get it? Or did he not get it rookie year or some shit?
He was good right away, so it wouldn't surprise me. Looking it up right now.
Yeah, right away.
Every year.
1,200 is rookie year. I mean, he's lucky he got to start with Jameis, right?
Yeah, he's also had multiple seasons. He's had 1,001, 1,006, and last year 1,004.
Yeah, this would be number 11. Very impressive.
All right, that's the dead index. Not as many dead teams.
I think he could have added a couple more teams. Nah, there's a couple more he could have added.
The Colts. Colts are dead.
Colts we could have thrown in there, but we already talked about the Colts.
Colts you could have thrown in there.
Matt thinks they might win in Seattle this weekend.
Even though just one game, yeah.
Plus 900.
I just, dude, it's the NFL, guys. We see it every year.
Anything can happen.
Anything.
All right. Some college football. All right. Well, Jack had to go to kickball. Another team that got kicked from the college football playoff. Notre Dame, not in.
Was it a spite move by the committee to force their hand in joining a conference?
I think it was more just the committee realizing they fucked up by putting them in Miami so close to each other and having Miami with the head-to-head that you can't really. But I do like that angle. I mean, they got to join a conference. Go join the Sun Belt if you really like.
Yeah. Which they're saying, what was some kind of report broke about how the committee said non-conference wins don't count or something. So it's going to be a bunch of cupcake games on the schedule and you're only going to play 6 conference games, which were they saying you can pick your conference game? I don't know. I saw something where it was like, we're looking at schedules coming up and it's going to be just cupcake, just so you can get to 12-0 and get in.
Yeah. Alabama just got rid of one of their home and homes with USF and delayed it. We're slowly going to see this. And I thought the 12-team playoff would open up more opportunity for teams to, we'd get the Ohio State versus Texas week 1 because you can afford that extra loss. But obviously, now people feel like you can't.
Blown up in her. Well, it's not that you can't. It's that there's too many other teams out there who are going to play the cupcake schedule. And that's why. It's not like, the one loss. Like, I don't know. The whole thing's ruined.
Yeah, there's a very easy fix to this, and it's doing.
We thought the 12 teams was going to be good, and it's just somehow, some way they're finding a way to ruin it.
The more you let committees decide these kind of things, it's always going to be debated. Which is why I know everyone hated the 2-team BCS, but at least it was computers, and you could blame the computers, and not like the computer said it. You can't blame people.
Well, why can't you computer it? And for the 12 teams,
you could. I mean, that was in the perfect world. The playoff I proposed on the last show, I think it was, with the 8 teams, you get the 4 conference champions, and then the next 6 with a computer, next 6 most highly ranked, and then you have a group of 5 playoff, 18 playoff.
I don't hate it, but is it? It's. I think again, that's a fine angle because no Notre Dame feels like they should have definitely got in, and I think there is like a Rob factor there, but them losing to Miami screwed everything up and really hurt their chances, obviously, and it didn't help that Miami finished right there with them. I forgot that they lost to Notre Dame lost to Miami because just like thinking about it, I'm like, dude, Notre Dame is a way stronger team than Miami is. And it's like, well, Miami beat them. But in my head, in my eyes, I'm like, dude, Notre Dame just feels so much stronger than Miami.
They are.
Yeah,
Miami has not looked
Miami
good
gets them.
month.
No, they haven't. And I get it that so like, can you just call it a fluke loss and say, well, looking at it, Notre Dame probably is the better team to put in? But you can't because everybody would get rattled and say that can't happen because they beat them. So it's limited selection. You're going to have those battles right there at the end. And, it, sucks to suck, I guess, for Notre Dame Nation.
Yeah, it's all screwed up by the fact that the ACC championship game is determined by these stupid tiebreakers, and Miami wasn't in there. If they just let Miami in, they're going to dog walk Virginia or Georgia Tech, whoever they would have played, and Miami's in. But the committee feels like they have to get an ACC team in because they can't put Duke in. So you need somebody from the conference, and that's another reason Miami gets in.
Well, that's the thing. Does this all get somewhat not fixed, but we don't have this crazy combo if Virginia just beats Duke, they put Virginia in because they're ACC,
And then
Notre Dame's in, and and then it's like whatever.
Yep.
But instead, Duke causes a scene, somehow wins, which that overtime game was wild.
That was insane.
And that's what we get.
I do feel bad for Notre Dame fans because they're clearly one of the best 12 teams in the country. Who I don't feel bad for is like the Vanderbilt and Texas fans that are saying to keep the 5.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have a spot.
I have no sympathy for Texas. No sympathy for Vanderbilt. I do even though it's, a lot of people hate on Notre Dame often, and rightfully so. I think the no conference is ridiculous. But I don't know, man. There's I don't know. It's stupid. I hate having to debate it and argue it because it's stupid.
Yeah, it's not. I wish college football was not so much about money and conferences and bias, and it was just let them play and try to decide a champion. But that's unfortunately where we're at.
But let's talk about our team, Brian. The JMU Dukes sneak their way in. Tough matchup, as any matchup was going to be for them at 12. But let's put on the blinders. Let's put on the delusional hat. What is JMU's path to an upset win against Oregon?
Morris sprains his ACL walking through the tunnel. Backup quarterback has COVID. They get down to the third stringer. And then maybe you return a punt, block a couple Oregon field goals, and you might sneak out with a win.
Yeah, I think you got to keep it too, and which kind of stinks because both are high-powered offenses, JMU for their respective conference, and then obviously Oregon. So you can't say, hey, JMU slow the game down and play the possession battle because that's just not their DNA. That's not their identity. That's not how they play. So this team is going to have to win shootout-type games, and I think out of all the teams, Oregon's probably the last team you want to have to be in a shootout with. But with that being said, I think if they find a rhythm, have a game plan and execute it, they can keep it competitive, keep it close, maybe cover the spread. But unfortunately, JMU isn't wired to play a possession battle.
No.
They're not wired to slow it down. And that, unfortunately, their identity hurts them in this particular situation.
That's a good way to put it. I do think they'll keep it. Like, I'm so sick of this narrative I'm seeing on social media about group of 5 teams being in because it's going to be a blowout in the first round. I mean, it was last year we saw SMU get blown out by Penn State. Tennessee got boat raced by Ohio State. So I don't think this game will be any worse than those games were. And it might be closer because JMU's a conference champion with a chip on their shoulder. And maybe they keep the first half close. And then they run out of steam in the second half.
Yeah, it's too many possessions, too long a game that it just feels like, how can they keep it close? Everybody's predicting a blowout for Oregon, 2-3 touchdown victory for them, maybe more. Is this a situation where you see, Oregon win handedly, and then that follow-up game, they maybe get the brakes blown off them?
Depends who they play. Let me pull up the bracket here real quick. I like Oregon, but they're such a weird team because we've seen them struggle. Like, they sucked in that Indiana game. And Indiana's very good. But they're one seed for a reason. But they almost lost to Penn State, and that's a hard game, the whiteout game. Like, it's hard to trust Oregon.
I don't. That's why I'm asking if you think they get blown out in that second game, because I think it could be one of those, not blown out, but like the other team wins handedly.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying now. So they're playing it took me a while to get there. But yeah, they don't have a chance against our Red Raiders.
They got no shot. Blowout.
And I do really like Texas Tech's path. I know they got to play Indiana.
They're far away. Well, I guess they would have to play Indiana. But, I like it. I know Indiana keeps winning and keeps beating the teams that I'd say I'd rather Texas Tech not play. But I think I like Indiana there. Why is Indiana so good, Brian? Can you break that down for the people? Why are they so good?
Continuity.
What makes them so good? I watch this team and I'm like, I'm not like, there's nothing that's blowing me away.
Cignetti brought over so many pieces with him from JMU, and they've just played together for so long. They've won together for so long, and they believed they were good last year. And the thing holding him back was the quarterback. And they got a quarterback that, we still make fun of him because we don't think he's that good. But I mean, he's clearly doing something right, and all he needs to be is decent. And it's just a DNA that Cignetti has instilled in them. He might, after the season, if they win it all, be called the best coach in college football, if he's not called that already. But
just currently, active head coaches, he's the best.
Yeah, not of all time.
Yeah, I was going to say for a sec.
But he's instilled a culture in them where they believe they can win every game. And he
has
done it.
And it's interesting. Usually you see these coaches say stuff in the media and it blows up in their face. Everything that he said in the media, it hasn't blown up in his face yet, which helps just kind of create that confidence that the team carries week to week. And we've seen it. They haven't lost a game. And, I guess you're right. It's the coaching, the continuity. He's brought guys in. They play together. The chemistry's there. I know they have great players. I know they've been playing unbelievable, but I watch them. I'm just like, how is nobody beating this team?
It's one of those things you feel like they're going to lose, but they just don't lose.
They just don't.
Elijah Surratt's a fucking dog at wide receiver.
That's true. I thought they were going to lose on the road to Oregon. They handedly win. Thought there was an angle even after all the drama with Penn State, and there was drama at the end of that game. I mean, they probably should have lost that game. I mean, that was dangerously close. You think, okay, Ohio State, Big Ten championship. Yeah, sure. Does Ohio State care about the Big Ten championship? Probably not. They just want to win a national title, but lose that game. And it's they just don't feel like the powerhouse that they've been. And I know that's hard to hear. And people are like, this guy's a moron. But when you watch him, are you like, wow, this team is just outright powerhouse. They are just they could, I don't know. It doesn't feel like teams I've seen in the past.
It doesn't feel like a powerhouse number 1 seed.
Right. It doesn't.
Which
And I don't
is why
necessarily feel like that about Ohio State, but I think I feel more like that about Ohio State, even though they lost, than I do about Indiana. And maybe it's just because it's Indiana. I don't know.
it's hard to get past that. And I do too. I think Ohio State's the favorite to win this bracket, and I'm sure Vegas probably agrees.
I think they do.
I'll pull up the odds real quick here, but I mean, I do like Texas Tech's path. I know this is probably the SEC bias in me, but no, because they have Alabama. But I'd rather stay away from Texas A&M and Ole Miss, even though Ole Miss lost Kiffin. I think Oklahoma and Alabama are definitely much more beatable teams if they somehow beat Indiana in that second round. And you avoid Ohio State and Georgia. So I like where Texas Tech landed at 4.
Again, there's no easy path when you get to this time of the year and this bracket, but there's paths that you can feel a lot better about than other paths, I think is the right way to say that. But I do like what they did with Ole Miss and Tulane, the two coaches that left, and they kind of just have a ragtag coaching staff that's going to go out there and play in the playoff. They match them up against each other in the opening round. What do you think about that game?
Be interesting. You see Summerall's tweet, 2 phones, 2 jobs, 2 hours of sleep. He's getting clowned on Twitter for that one. You brought up Signetti's, how he's always right in the media. Summerall's not doing great in the media. It's interesting. JMU's actually plus 7,000, Tulane's plus 75,000. So the odds makers believe in JMU more than Tulane.
Yeah, they kept their coach there, right?
Yeah,
or he left, but he's allowed to coach.
Yep, and then they're going with Billy Napier next year.
Yeah, interesting as well. But I guess another way to ask it here, Brian, is you look at, Ole Miss, Tulane. Tulane's a team you're not really thinking about. JMU, not a team. Like, does Tulane have the better shot? I know the books say no, but it's not like – I think I would have liked JMU at that 11 spot against Ole Miss.
Yeah, I would have loved if JMU was – Ole Miss is – I don't know. I think Oregon's better than Ole Miss is. Definitely.
Are they?
I think so.
It's close. Losing the coach probably makes it easier to put Oregon above. But if they still had Lane Kiffin,
yeah, I'd be more.
That's neck and neck, dude.
Yeah, it's so tough.
It's because they got Lane Kiffin left, so it's easier to take Dan Lanning and a jacked up Oregon team, or Dan Lanning, whatever you would say his name is, over Ole Miss, who just had all the media attention for the wrong reasons the last 2.5 weeks.
I think those kids are going to have something to prove, though. I don't know. I really don't like these Group 5 conference teams. If North Texas was in this, I would have been loving North Texas just because they can score 60 points. Tulane, they can score, and I know they just beat North Texas, but I don't know.
Dude, I could be totally wrong, but I think JMU keeps it closer with Oregon than Tulane does with Ole Miss.
I think that's a fair take to have.
And it's not because I just heard you say, or I'm biased to JMU, which I am, but I don't know. Tulane, I'm just not there with them.
The American there's really no one there. It always feels like the American has someone.
Temple was competitive this year. Temple was bowl eligible. They declined it, but they were bowl eligible.
They all just cannibalized each other. There's normally one team you feel good about out of the American, and it was kind of just like, all right, well, whoever wins this, you're probably not doing much.
No.
Which is a shame. All
right, last thought. Alabama. I know it hurts to see them in. Deserving because they didn't even win the SEC championship.
No, they deserve to be there because they made it to the SEC championship. But they're not going to do it. Ty Simpson is not good at football.
I don't think he's as good as I once believed in him. I once was like, yo, I'm in on him.
I think he gets rattled way too easily, which, I mean, he's young, sure, but I can't see Ty Simpson hoisting the college football playoff trophy. Also, BYU fans, there's a whole thing about BYU getting punished because they lost a championship and Alabama getting rewarded for losing a championship. Alabama was in the bracket. BYU was not. BYU didn't get punished. They just didn't get rewarded for playing in a championship. So that's a mute argument. BYU, I'm sorry.
Dude, I'm not getting into BYU. They did not deserve any of this.
Yeah, no, they did not. They didn't beat anyone good, and they got boat raced by Tech both times.
They got both raced by Tech both times. That was their telltale sign of like if they got a shot or not. And they, like you said, it wasn't close. They were not in any of those games. It wasn't even like they kept it close and lost at the end. Like they just – you can't have a quarterback with the number 47, dude. Like you can't have it.
That's fair. I like that.
You can't.
Yeah, that's the college football play. You want to pick a winner?
I mean, dude, you know what my winner is, man. I'm all in on Texas Tech. I've been since week 2. I've been since week 2. At 600 to 1 or whatever plus 6,600 is. So
I'm picking Texas Tech.
I'm all in on Tech. I would have loved Notre Dame chances. What's the guy's name? Jeremiah Love. Dog. Gutted that he wasn't able to get in and keep his season trucking along, moving along. They shut down the program for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's so soft to just decline a bowl invite.
Yeah, I didn't even know they were allowed to do that. I guess nobody ever did decline them, so people did it though because you got extra money, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there'd be people that would. It'd be very rare.
If you were bowl eligible, you got money from, like, the school got money.
Yeah.
Now they just don't care about that money.
No. There's so much NIL money floating around. The only time programs would do it before was if their coach left and they didn't really have a coach and they didn't feel like playing in a bowl. But now I don't love where college football's headed.
No, neither do I. But it has, for what it's worth, and I know we're just scratching the surface of NIL. This is the first year in a while where I kind of been locked into college football, and it's been pretty entertaining to some extent.
It's a great product. It's just all the behind-the-scenes stuff is toxic.
Yeah. It's not trending like it's going to get better. It's trending like it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
All major sports, for what that's worth.
Too much money in it now.
Nobody's ready for that conversation.
We might be having it before too long.
Yeah.
See how the Mets offseason shakes out. How much more grumpy I get.
So not even New Year's yet, man.
I need it to be Christmas.
It's like day 2 of winter meetings, and they're already imploding.
It's not a great start.
No.
Season hasn't even. That's enough about the Mets. Let's do some confidence picks.
I don't need to keep it going about them. Yes, sir.
You can't handle the
Young Perky, Cali.
Jack didn't let it get into the intro. I watched the confidence pick segment. He didn't let it marinate. Sorry to the people, but I'm back with another rapid fire confidence week. Week 15 of the NFL. I don't even know what the standings are. Brian, do you have an update on that? Or
No.
we just fired right into it?
We're just firing right into it.
Am I still leader of the clubhouse?
You're still leader, and that's why I don't have it for you.
That's fine. I'll take it. Let's kick us off here with the easiest pick of the week. Niners over the Titans. We jump to the Jaguars, so this might be the highest they will ever be on my confidence board. Jags over the Jets. Eagles, I ripped on them. They're done. They're dead. 13th on the list. Eagles over the Raiders. Texans over the Cardinals. Bucks over the Falcons, who I also said was dead. Hawks, the Seahawks over the Colts, was saying plus 900. Give me the Seahawks. Bears over the Browns. Panthers must win. Already lost once to the Saints. Tough to beat the division opponent, division rival twice in 1 year. Panthers over the Saints. Rams over the Lions. That's going to be a tricky game. Giants over the Commanders. Giants favorite for the first time all year. Cowboys over the Vikings. That's a tricky one. Ravens over the Bengals to keep the season alive. Packers take down the Broncos in a game that I feel like a lot of people are going to be thinking Denver will win. Dolphins over the Steelers to keep the win streak and McDaniel's job. The playoff hopes still alive. That's just a fun pick for me. I want to see the Dolphins completely turn it around and sneak into the playoffs. Give me the Dolphins over the Steelers. Patriots over the Bills in a coin flip, in my opinion. And I have the Rams over the Lions again. All right, so I missed the pick. Who'd I leave out?
Boy.
I completely
That's never
butchered.
good.
Oh, give me the Chiefs over the Chargers at 1.
There you go. I can't believe you put the Raiders all the way up there.
I
After
know. I can't help myself. It is what it is. And the Seahawks, after going on and on about the call, I wasn't thinking. I was rushed. All right. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I've been doing like an FU pick at number 1 the last couple weeks. Hit with the Panthers 2 weeks ago when it was Panthers Rams.
did.
That's why I said Danny Dimes at number 1. Thought you guys would pick up on the trend. Instead, all we got was it was always Trevor Lawrence, which it was.
It was always Trevor Lawrence. All right, I'll get into mine that always seem to lose. I said the Bucs were dead. That was a little bit of hoping that I was wrong with that take.
Yeah,
I
we
normally am wrong.
are like 180 on these here, Brian.
Bucs over the Falcons at the top. Then we have Texans over the Cardinals. Texans sneaky to win the AFC South. Now that Jack's not here, I can say that. Seahawks over the Colts. 49ers over the Titans. Eagles over the Raiders. Although if Kenny Pickett starts that game, we might have to change how I feel about it. Steelers over the Dolphins. Bills over the Patriots. And really a must-win game for the Bills to try to get that division. Ravens over the Bengals. Jags over the Jets. Giants over the Commanders. Can't believe I'm picking the Giants again. Packers over the Broncos. Panthers. Got to keep pace with the Bucs over the Saints. Rams over the Lions and the 1 seed. Chiefs over the Chargers. Bears over the Browns. But the Browns could be sneaky. I have the Cowboys over the Vikings. And I think that's a Sunday night game, and I don't know why.
Yeah, we're at the time of the year where they flex the shit out, man. I don't know why they forgot. I mean, this game should be what? Cowboys Vikings Sunday Night Football. I mean, do the Vikings have any sense of hope?
No,
They're completely dead.
they're dead in the water.
Yeah. They got to. That's got to be flexed out. What game would you flex in?
Rams Lions.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes the most sense, right?
Rams Lions makes the most sense.
I guess it's the 4:25 game, so that
I would take Ravens Bengals. I think.
yeah, I'd take Ravens Bengals.
I would say Dolphins Steelers, but they're already on Monday night.
Packers Broncos. There's so
Yeah.
many games here.
Oh, Packers. Oh, yeah. Why? Yeah.
What are we doing?
Bills Pats can make an argument.
Goodell, man. Figure it out.
But we get Cowboys, but yeah. Hold on, let's talk about that for a second. It's a couple loaded matchups this week. And they give us Cowboys Vikings. Prime time
Terrible.
Sunday night.
Goodell, what are we doing?
I don't know.
That's terrible. Is there still time to flex it?
No.
Yeah.
I think they're usually like 2 weeks out.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks is right.
They're usually about 2 weeks out for flexing games.
All right, well, I'll read off Jack's because he is busy kicking balls right now. Jags over the Jets, Niners over the Titans. He has Seattle over the Colts, Texans over the Cardinals, Eagle Diver Raiders, Bears over the Browns, Cowboys over the Vikings, Bucks over the Falcons, Rams beating the Lions, Panthers beating the Saints, Ravens over the Bengals, Chiefs over the Chargers, Broncos beating the Packers, Steelers over Dolphins. He also picked the Giants. That's scary. And the Bills beating the Pats.
This might be the first time ever we've squad rode the Giants.
That can't be good.
It's a squad ride, Brian.
They're going to win, and they're going to ruin their chances for one pick.
It's a squad ride for the New York Football Giants.
Oh, man. This fucking football team. I honestly don't know which team I feel worse about now.
Well, the Mets or the Giants didn't have those expectations that
It's
the Mets
true.
have had hanging over their head. Like the Giants, like people kind of knew what they were and what they were going to be, but nobody was expecting the Mets. Like everybody, they had high expectations. They didn't do anything. Then they got to the playoffs. Then it's like, all right, a couple more. You feel a couple pieces away. Sign one big pitcher, and we got a shot. They're like self-inflicting wounds.
Mm-hmm.
They're self-imploding. Nobody's doing it but them. They're like
I can't.
purposely blowing it up.
For the sake of my mental health, I need to stop dealing with this.
I'd be losing my mind. I give you props for showing up because I'd have a tough time if that's like, it's like, I don't even know I guess the example would be like letting Schwarber walk would be a close example. Like at least
And then trading Bryce Harper.
And then like trading Harper for a bag of chips, trading Harper for like, I don't know, who's a 38-year-old first baseman or like a veteran that like Paul Goldschmidt. They would have traded him for Paul Goldschmidt.
Oh, we didn't even get into that. The Mets said their backup plan is a platoon between Paul Goldschmidt and Jeff McNeil at first base.
Is Goldschmidt on the Mets?
No, he's a free agent.
But that's their backup plan.
Yep.
How do you say that?
They're the Mets.
How do you have a backup plan with a player that's not on the team?
It's so disgusting.
Like, how is Stearns not like yanked that in New York, man?
Yeah, I'm surprised his house hasn't been egged yet.
Yeah. I mean, at least we hold our guys accountable.
There's still time. There's a lot of offseason left.
Yeah, there is a lot. And there's a lot of time for it to get worse.
Yeah, if they do that Mets day again, where they have like the media access to all the players in front office, he's going to get killed.
Oh, my gosh. He has to do, like, I feel like they've backed himself into a corner where they, like, have to sign Kyle Tucker, like, some insane move that's like, all right, like, now at least the season's not done.
It's going to be Cody Bellinger, and they're going to trade for Freddie Peralta. And then they'll go into next year with Mark Vientos at first base.
That's like do we have like a last thought here? Brian, Met prediction on what they go into the year looking like? Seemingly Goldschmidt's on the team. You've already leaked that.
Yeah, Alvarez at catcher, Goldschmidt / McNeil at first, Marcus Semien at second, Lindor at short, Brett Beatty at third, Juan Soto in right, Cody Bellinger in left, Carson Benj in center.
Who is that?
He's a AAA prospect. And their rotation will be Freddie Peralta, Noah McLean, Christian Scott, David Peterson, Brandon Sproat. And Jonah Tong will come up when one of those five inevitably gets injured.
Injured or blows up.
Yep.
I'll put it this way. If that's the starting five, it's better than it was last year.
Which is a miracle.
The
lineup's a hell of a lot worse.
Just the lineup just that's like you're trading Alonso, who had the power bat, and then you plug in Bellinger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that guy could strike out 100 whatever times a year or more. I mean, that like, yeah, sure, he's good, but like, I don't know.
Juan Soto might walk 350 times next year.
Bellinger's like a Met signing that like he goes there and is like bats 209, barely hits 25 home runs, and is just like swinging at everything and anything and strikeout galore. That's that does not seem like a good move for the Mets.
Nope. But they've been linked to him.
But they'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. All right, Brian, I'm done. I won't torch you any further. There's a long way to go, and my Phillies have a fine way of doing that to their fans as well. So I'm laughing, but probably at some point not too far behind you.
We'll see. It might be a much different outlook in our baseball preview this year than it was last year.
Much different, and that's putting it nicely.
All right. Well, we will see all of you again on Tuesday. Back to our normal schedule next week.
Back to the normal schedule. Peace.